Welcome to the Environmental Show. I'm your host, Chris Crisitiello. The Newton Conservators and the Green Decade Coalition take turns providing a monthly program on environmental issues of interest to Newton residents. Newton Conservators are a nonprofit organization dedicated to the preservation of open spaces for the use and enjoyment of everyone. On today's show, we're going to present a program that I like very much. We're going to introduce you to the Environmental Sciences program here in Newton. Kids who grow up in the cities and the suburbs today have less opportunity than I did as a kid to get out in the outdoors. I grew up in the Berkshires and had the chance to get to the Greylock Mountain Reservation or to the October Mountain area within just a few minutes, so that I could enjoy the outdoors and study birds and other aspects of nature. The current director of the program is David Backer, and we'd like to ask you, what do you do for the science program?
Thanks, Chris. I help the staff coordinate the plans for the program. This is a really great program. It's for students who are going into grades 7, 8, 9, and 10. And it involves just plain enjoying the wilderness as well as some science education. And every year it's the month of July. We take up to about 30 students. And the really great thing about the program is that the student leaders teach the students, and the student leaders really run the program. And it combines a variety of different kinds of activities, hiking, biking, canoeing, and backpacking. And the students not only learn about the environment, but they also learn about environmental cleanup through hands-on cleanup projects that we do every year. And it's overall has been a really great success for about 38 years. It started in the late 1960s by a science teacher named Dick Staley, who had a Ford Foundation grant. And it has evolved over the years to be a program which operates within the Conservation Commission in the city of Newton. And we're totally funded by the kids' tuition and contributions, some of which comes from the Newton Conservators, who's been a very big supporter of us over the years. And the program is really a lot of fun for the students because they get to go out and see things that they might normally not see. There's a lot of sort of hidden nature just right around Newton. We also go to Manhattan Woods, we go to the Arnold Arboretum, we go to Walden Pond, and there's a series of hikes that start on Blue Hills. We also climb Mount Monadnock. And then there's a big 3-day backpacking trip to the top of Mount Washington in New Hampshire. And we stay for 2 nights at the Appalachian Mountain Club at the Lakes of the Clouds hut. I got involved because my son had been in the program for 6 years, 3 years as a student, and then 2 years as a leader, and 1 year as a student director.
David, can we ask some of the student leaders to tell us what's going on in this program and what they've done?
Sure, we've got a number of leaders who can tell you what they've done over the past few years, and
Good.
also some students.
Let's hear what they have to say.
Great.
Hi, my name is Jeffrey DeCue. I'm currently the director of the Environmental Science program. I got involved with the program 7 years ago when my friends Joey and Nate heard about it. They got brochures and got me interested in it, and we went for the first year and we loved it. We made a ton of friends there. It was just a great program all around, so we went back for 2 more years as students, and after that we became leaders for 3 years.
My name is Joey Backer, and I got involved with the program about 7 years ago. You can decide what you want to do based on your interests and really sort of define the program for yourself every year.
My name is Nate Coffin. I became a student in 1998, I believe, and I was a student for 3 years, and then I became a leader for 3 years. That was the conventional time frame where I would be a leader. But then, after I graduated essentially from the program and from high school, I decided I loved it so much that I had to come back for more and was a leader again last year. What we do is the leaders spend about 6 months over the course of the year, from December to June, basically doing their own research on the environment and teaching each other about the things that they've researched. and hopefully they retain as much of the information that they've taught each other as possible. And then by the time July rolls around, we have all this information in our heads so that when the students come and we walk around Newton and walk around Blue Hills and walk around Kittery and walk around Mount Monadnock and Mount Washington and the Charles River, we can look around and say, hey, we know something about that and we're going to teach you it. And a lot of the knowledge comes from these 6 months, but I would say even more of the knowledge comes from just being a student and being exposed to other leaders who have so much information inside their heads that my experience as a student was amazing, just hearing everything they had to say about the environment. And I would say that that's what I remember most about the environment, and what I've learned in my lifetime about the environment hasn't come from school, but from these people who know so much.
My name is Luda, and I've been with the program for 3 years. This coming summer will be my 4th year. I was a student for 1 year and a leader for 2, and this next year I'm going to be the student director. And when I first got involved with the program, I was going into 9th grade, and I got a pamphlet in the mail, and it seemed really interesting to me because I was really into the environment. I loved nature, and I really liked doing things outside. I really liked hiking and camping and, biking and stuff, and so it seemed like the perfect thing to do, and so that's how I signed up.
My name is Ari Miller, and I got involved in the environmental science program 2 years ago. One of the things that I found great about the environmental science program was how every day is different, and you go to different places and learn different things and just have a great time.
My name is Aaron Hunter, and I got involved in the program last year when I went to a meeting at my school, and they mentioned it among some other programs, and I thought it looked like the most fun.
Hi, my name is Noah. I'm in 7th grade and I went to ESP. I really loved it, and I got to go to all these places that I would have never been to if I hadn't gone here. It was a great experience and I learned a lot about nature.
One of my favorite trips is the Blue Hills trip, where we go up to Blue Hills and use the maps and do orienteering and try and follow all the crazy trails. And you get blueberries in the bargain, and then you look over the map and see what you walked in one day, and it's really cool.
The difference is that the blueberries have crowns and the other ones don't. They're just balls. So make sure you don't eat the darker blue ones.
What did I do?
What?
35.
Yes. Wow.
How'd you know that?
It's on the chip set.
I got the stick.
Can you remember?
Is it on mine?
Wait, 35?
I'm Charlotte, and this is my first year in ESP, and it's a whole lot of fun because we go on lots of trips, and normally, if you were going to go to places, and you wouldn't think of going there in Newton, but we actually walked to all sorts of places where we could hike in the woods, and it was really fun. And we learned about lots of different plants, and we saw some cool animals. And we went to the Blue Hills. We saw a whole lot of deer and a bunch of different kinds of birds. And the deer it was just really cool. We saw a doe and a fawn just right by the side of the path because they were eating the blueberries, and it was really cool. There were these little toads, and they were really good because they were little baby toads. And it was really weird because somebody saw one, and then all of a sudden everyone's looking, and they're all over the path. The other mountains were a lot steeper than the Blue Hills, so it was good to go to the Blue Hills because it was different from a lot of the places we'd been, but it wasn't as steep as the double staircase.
In the beginning, the trips are sort of shorter, and then as we get closer to the mountain sequence, they get longer and longer to prepare.
We've cleared an invasive species called Japanese knotweed from Dolan Pond in Auburndale. We cleared and marked trails in the Hammond Woods conservation area near the Chestnut Hill Mall. We cleaned Cabot Woods a couple years ago. We've marked trails in Nahanton Woods. It's just a good opportunity for the students to give back to Newton.
On the preparation day for canoeing, when we went and pulled up the water chestnuts, one great thing was that when we were going around and I was watching everyone seemed to be enjoying like pulling these plants up. I mean, it was a challenge and you had to pull it just right to get the seeds out, which are very sharp. So, and it seemed like everyone was feeling really good about being able to help the environment. We start in Needham and canoe about 10 miles, ending right before Hemlock Gorge in Newton Lower Falls. And on this trip, we break into small groups in canoes, and each group measures a different aspect of the water and surrounding area as we canoe in multiple places. We measure the pH levels, the salinity, dissolved oxygen, depth. We look for surrounding wildlife, and these results we give to the city as a favor.
The canoe trip was a lot of fun. That was great.
It was really cool to canoe because I've never been canoeing before. I've only been kayaking.
Yeah.
And then like going that long and like getting to paddle, like just to go places that you've never been to.
I'm Noah and I'm in 7th grade. My favorite trip was when we went to Kittery, Maine, and
What?
Last summer we went to Kittery Salt Marsh in Maine, which is a series of channels cut out by salt water, and it acts as a buffer zone between the ocean and the land ecosystems, and it's a very important environmental presence because it filters out many different nutrients and toxins and materials from the ocean, and we go in there with our students to look at the different life in the salt marshes and to just have a lot of fun.
One of the really cool things that we tried out last year was a day where we had a coyote tracker come in and talk to us about, sort of coyotes, what they're really like, and what he does as far as tracking them.
But we also got to play around with the tracking devices that Dean, the tracker, used when he was trying to find these coyotes every night, and they got to understand how the equipment worked, and it was really just another fun hands-on way to play with this scientific equipment that you really only get to hear about otherwise, and it's another way of getting kids more excited about science.
How was it?
Good.
Good.
It was really good.
Terrific.
A number of years we've been meeting at Brown Middle School. The program starts at 9 a.m. There's usually some orientation and planning for the day's activities. And then the students go out and don't come back until about 2:30 or 3 in the afternoon.
We also have a lot of biking trips throughout the month. They start out sort of easy, close by bike trips, and as the month goes on, just like the walking trips, they get longer and longer. So the month actually ends, if you want to, take this biking trip to Walden Pond, which is about 20 miles. And a lot of students just love biking, and it's hard to teach while you're biking, but we take periodical stops at certain landmarks, certain trees, certain rocks that are particularly interesting.
I remember riding my bike to the Western Observatory. It was a 20-mile bike ride. I particularly enjoyed that because I like bike riding, and I actually got to go places and then eventually tell my mom that I can do this.
Which trips do you think were your favorite?
Definitely the Mount Washington trip and the whole mountain sequence.
Mount Monadnock was very, very fun because it's your first mountain trip that you do.
I liked it a lot. I thought it was a great trip. It was one of the best besides Mount Washington because it was like, it was a good challenge because it's a tough mountain to climb, but it's not so hard that you're just like working your way up it all day, and you can still have fun while you're doing it.
It was fun. It was a long walk, but one of the counselors told me once you get up there, it's beautiful. So when I went up there, it was really cool. It's like seeing how high I was. It was awesome. I liked it.
One of our biggest trips is a hiking trip up Mount Monadnock, which is in Jaffrey, New Hampshire. I think most people are familiar with tree lines on mountains, but one unique aspect of Mount Monadnock is that its tree line is a false one. It shouldn't be there. And what happened was farmers who lived around Mount Monadnock were having their sheep and their livestock carried off by wolves who lived on Mount Monadnock. So in a rage and a fury, the farmers set all the trees on Mount Monadnock on fire, which caused this false tree line to be formed because all of the life was burned above a certain area and couldn't grow back.
I really thought Mount Washington was one of the biggest highlights of the program. It was very fun, and the fact that we got to stay there and look around instead of just walking out during the day was a big aspect of why it was so great.
It's probably the most physically challenging trip that you go on, and once you do it, well, it's just, it's a great feeling of accomplishment when you get to the end of the day and you make it to the hut, and it also makes you appreciate the comforts of modern living.
I really had a lot of fun climbing up and like just being with everybody else for 3 days.
Before we went to Mount Washington, like we had a mountain prep, which was just one whole day spent on packing our stuff into the bags, and we had a list of items to bring.
Okay. So, who has their own training?
And whatever she thinks.
Mike!
But you think you're ready?
Well, yeah. I think I did pretty good at Monadnock, so I think I'll be ready for Washington.
All right. I'll see you on the hill.
Can you hold it?
Hold on, I'm just gonna get mine.
Are you dying, Mike? I'm dying. Should I tell Jonah to take over? I used to tell A-Rod that I'm dying. No, he won't even be able to hear me. Not what with all his headphones and all. Yeah.
Five minutes if you're in my group. That means you.
Unless you're Ari.
You.
They're not even.
Ori, give me the thumbs up if you heard me. I have never heard of anyone getting you guys. This mound of diapensia has been eroded away. The base of it has been eroded away. There's very little soil here anymore. The diapensia was the only thing holding the soil in. And what happened was, most likely, people stepped on the outside of this. You know, no one stepped right in the middle, probably. And but the diapensia died probably last year or something like that. And the soil, or the water runoff from areas around, washed away the soil and made it so that there's no longer an edge of this diapensia patch.
This right here is a crumhole. It's like a rare spot on the mountain where the wind is blocked off by rocks, and so the trees are able to grow. But if you notice, they can't grow too tall, or the wind will hit them, and it will kill them off. Reach that height, Like right here. We get overexposure.
Yeah, all the time.
The conditions are too bad, and they can't grow beyond this small height. Remember earlier, I think it was Monadnock where we saw the dwarf trees. Wait, there's dwarfs versus dwarf, right?
Yeah.
These are dwarfs.
Dwarfs.
Dwarfs. They're naturally this tall.
There's really alpine lobsters in here?
Yeah.
Really, truly, seriously?
Yeah.
For serious? Or he's in it off, on the blanket. Yeah, you can get over there.
Yep, yep. Can I close my mode yet? No, it's blowing out.
He's always impressed me with his vast knowledge and his ability to make up songs. And as a member of the Silent Monkeys of the Night, he entertained all of us with his many ditties on the tid whistle. Justin, come on up.
I got my diploma for graduating, and I also got, what did I get awarded? Person most likely to become an ornithologist.
Yeah,
it had a picture of a penguin on it. That was funny. Like a bunch of kids got awards, like kid who has gotten awards every year so far, so we're just going to give him an extra one for the heck of it.
Yeah.
That was one. That was really funny.
That was, yeah.
As parents, it's kind of hard to not get excited. When we talk about ESP, they can go every year for 4 years and have a totally different experience because they have a chance to do different trips every day. I mean, the kids pick at the end of each day, they pick one of 2 or 3 or even 4 options. And so they can go to this program summer after summer and never have the same experience.
And always learn something new.
Yeah.
I think that's the most fabulous part about this camp, is that they're continuously learning new things and making new friends and bringing all this knowledge with them as they grow and appreciating nature and all what's around them. You know, we live in a city, but they get to experience what it's like to be outside of it, and that's what's fun.
We did an evaluation David put together about 10 questions. And so I started calling different parents and just finding out what did they like best. And it was from the parents' point of view, you know, and how did the kids do it. And overwhelmingly, everybody really, really appreciated the program and what their kids were getting out of it.
Yeah, my name's Adam Lerner, and I'm Noah Lerner's father. One of the things that attracted me about the ESP program was hearing how much exercise these kids were going to get. My kids like to spend some time sitting around playing video games, so I was enthusiastic about a program that would get them out and walking about. And actually, from seeing Noah come back each evening very happy but fairly exhausted, I was very pleased with the program. It's not only educational, but I think it's a great way for the kids to get a lot of exercise.
Do you feel it's a safe program?
Yes, I do. I'm very impressed, especially over the last few years, at the training that the leaders have had to go through to kind of standardize and bring them, you know, so that they were comfortable with any situation that may arise.
Being a leader and a director at the program was even more fun than being a student, which was amazing to me when I started, because I didn't think it could get much better.
My experience as a student was amazing, just hearing everything they had to say about the environment, and I would say that that's what I remembered most.
The program has been very much a word-of-mouth program for many years, and we've been working very hard in the past year to reach more students through school newsletters and through our new website, which is www.newtonenvisci.org.
Looking at this program, are you pleased that almost 40 years later we're still have a very viable program?
Yes, it's amazing.
On behalf of the Newton Conservators, I'd like to thank the leaders and students in the environmental science program for their participation in our environmental show. For information about the Newton Conservators programs dedicated to preserving open space in Newton for public use and enjoyment, please visit www.newtonconservators.org.